Yes. Hello, guys. Anybody that might be here already, welcome back to my kitchen where we are going to do another episode of Detention Docket this afternoon or this evening. It's evening. It's evening time, even though it's beautiful outside. Just give me 1 minute and I'm just going to get this set up. I'm also going to be making dinner tonight, so be prepared for that. Um, that was a great time served episode tonight. I loved it. Judge Jad was just on point, on point tonight. Anyways, so without further ado, hi Madison, thank you. McRib, you guys are awesome. Let me, without further ado, go ahead and get us started with episode 6 of the Detention Docket series, which, if any of you are new here, we are taking a flashback to 2020 when a lot of us actually fell in love with court and watching court. And part of that was a very regular watching of Judge Kim down in the 323rd District Court. He runs a juvenile detention court, and him and his associate judges do that, and they are worth a rewatch. Honestly, there's lots of them, and so we're going to be going through them and having a blast tonight. I think Judge Terry's starting, but it looks like we've got a good lineup. So let me get that rolling for us, and then I got to get cooking too. So there, you can still hear me, I know. And put this down here. I'm doing this sort of on the fly tonight. Go. Come on, Judge Terry, hurry up.
Okay, it appears to me that we're up and running on YouTube. Pierce, can you see if you can see it on Judge Kim's channel? Were you able to see it on my channel either? Okay. I'm on Judge Kim's channel now, so. Okay, yeah, I think it's working. All right, well, good thing I got started early now that we're a little bit behind. All right, so it looks like we have a parent here for Mr. Andrade. Is there a parent? Okay, ma'am, you need to come up to the laptop, please, to the front.
She sat back row.
Yes, ma'am. I'm in this way.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Andrade, this is your detention hearing. You have been brought in here to Kimbo, and you have a right to have this hearing within 2 business days of being detained. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian, or whether we should keep you here. You've been detained because it's been alleged that you have committed conduct, that if this conduct were committed by an adult, it would be considered a crime. But because you are a juvenile, it's considered, you're alleged to have engaged in delinquent conduct, okay? They're saying that you've engaged in organized criminal activity and burglary of a building. And I just want to let you know that you do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say during a detention hearing, however, cannot be used against you at any other kind of hearing. I can only consider it for purposes of detention, okay? You also have the right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. There's an attorney, Kathleen McGonigal. She's here on the Zoom screen. She's wearing glasses. Ms. McGonigal, if you can speak up, your screen will highlight.
Hello?
Do you see her?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your attorney for purposes of today. And I do see that Mom submitted already an affidavit of indigency and request for court-appointed attorney, and I did review it. Mom, and I do find that you do qualify. So I'm going to appoint you an attorney.
Thank you.
Y'all know you have to wash your rice, right? You have to wash all the starch off. Thank you all for being here. Time served. I see you. You guys are awesome.
It will be Ms. McGonigal who's here on the screen today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so it says that on June 1st, at 23:39 hours, the Fort Worth PD dispatched 3 officers, including a K-9 unit, to Dunbar High School because a concerned citizen contacted police said they saw 3 men in dark clothes carrying a hammer. When they arrived, one officer observed 3 men inside the school and directed the other officers to the suspect's specific location inside the building. Officers noticed the young men had crowbars and were prying open lockers, taking items, and stacking them in the hallway. Officers inside the building moved toward the location and apprehended you and another young man immediately. Third suspect fled on foot and was later apprehended by officers in the area. Third suspect is 17. Officers observed a great deal of broken glass and a damaged soda machine. The damage is estimated at $5,700. UA was administered. You tested positive for marijuana. Mom, do you know what? He's 14 years old. Do you know what he's doing hanging out with a 17-year-old doing this stuff?
Oh, I honestly, I have forbid him to hang out with them again. I had told him that that kid was going to get him in some trouble, and he didn't want to listen to me. I had went to sleep, and in the hour that I slept is when he snuck out.
Do you know how he knows this kid?
School. He had been detained at Fort Stoke before, and that's how they met at Fort Stoke.
Oh, okay. So you get in trouble, Mr. Andrade. You meet somebody else who likes to get in trouble. He's older than you. Your mom forbids you to hang out with him because she's right, but you know better. And so you go ahead and do it anyway, and this is what happens. And probably the one giving you marijuana. Sounds to me, I'm just making assumptions, and you don't have to tell me that somebody's taken advantage of the fact that school was out early this year and things were left behind, and you thought you could go get some things that see what you can get. So I'm going to order you detained. You're positive for marijuana. You're a danger to yourself and the community. It looks to me like there's probably more, the damage is more than what they've assessed so far, from what I'm told. So I'm sure they've talked to you about your levels in the back. And so in order to be considered, even consider being sent home with your mom, you're going to have to be on a level 1 outstanding, okay? All right, thank you.
We are having potato curry tonight with rice and mushrooms.
Okay, Momo Dorley is next.
This is how I've been watching court forever, doing everything while watching it. I love it. I love having y'all in my kitchen too. Judge Terry is too slow, but whatever. We'll wait. We'll let her go.
Hey, Mr. Dorley, this is your 10-day detention hearing. I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd. Remember that you have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be used against you at any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention, okay? All right, and when you speak, you're going to need to speak up. You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Shaw. He's here on the screen. Do you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have the right to have your hearing recorded, and if you want to do that, Mr. Shaw will let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you are here on the offenses of assault causes bodily injury, family member. And then you have a pending aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and unlawful carrying of a weapon in prohibited places. We're on a monitor for the February alleged offenses. When the May 17th offense occurred, when police were dispatched to a disturbance call, says you were out in the front yard with somebody else. Your mom called police and informed informed them that you were on a pending court and on EM. Police informed you that his mother could use physical force to make you go back into the home. Yeah, that your mother could. And then you were ordered back into the home. Mom followed you and pushed you through the doorway after you refused to enter the home. Police followed the both of you into the home. At this time, your mother began to discipline you by spanking you, and then you slapped her in the mouth.
I didn't, ma'am.
In front of the police, and then you were detained and brought in.
He slapped her in the mouth in front of the police? Like,
all right, so
doesn't sound good.
Ms. Rojas I see he's on level 1 outstanding as of about 5 days ago. Was that the first time he got to level 1 outstanding since he's been back with us?
He was on level 1 outstanding on the 21st of May as well.
Okay.
He was confined on the 23rd because he had a verbal and near physical altercation on the 22nd with another one of the youths back in the detention center. I do want to let you know that this is not the family for Momo. I wanted to go ahead and interrupt that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Let me get.
Are they here?
Mom, whoever you are in this, can you please exit whatever parent is in there? Thank you. And my bailiff is going out to see what's going on with that.
Whoever you are, exit. That's
Thank you, Ms.
hilarious.
Rojas. I should have confirmed it, but I just assumed that they would have the person in there.
Ms. Rojas, they indicated they were going to be in attendance today, did they not, his parents?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
It was supposed to be mom and dad.
Okay. My Deputy Armstead has gone out to check and see what's going on. Okay, thank you. Okay, there we go. Are you mom and dad?
Ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I had just gone over his rights and kind of what happened after he was out on a monitor, what happened on the 17th. And I had asked his PO about his behavior level since he's been here. So if you go ahead, Ms. Rojas, if you want to repeat that.
I was telling the judge that the last time that he was on level 1 outstanding was on the 21st of May. He was confined on the 23rd of May because he had a verbal and near physical altercation with another one of the kids in the detention center. So he's been trying to get back to level 1 outstanding since he was confined on the 23rd, and he did get to level 1 on the 28th of May.
Mom and Dad, are you prepared to have him home?
Yes.
Okay. Had he been giving you trouble like this since he'd been on the monitor, or did something happen that day?
This happened that day.
Okay, what was going on? And forgive me, because I haven't seen you guys yet. So what happened with him?
No, he was sitting outside, and I want him to be in the house because she said he should be in the house. And he said he want to be outside. He's bored. And I said, no, not right now. If you want to leave, I can ask her to get you out. You know, the monitor for some time, but you have to be indoors. And he was like, Mommy, I'm bored. And I said, go back in the house, and he didn't listen.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, he was released on the electronic monitor on the 16th of March, and he had been on that. He had one violation on the EM where he left the home for a few minutes. We had him come in. We spoke with him. He was drug tested. He tested negative. However, 2 days after coming in to talk to us, the parent called indicating that he just would not stay inside the house. He was going in.
Sorry, I paused it. Is that lady wearing a hat, or is that her hair in the juvenile parent room there? I'm baffled at all the people that still don't know not to wear a hat in court. I will wear a chef's hat, absolutely. If it's given to me, I will wear almost anything that's given to me. And I'm just about to add the carrots to the curry now. But anyways, onward we go with Judge Terry. I think Judge Terry is more Judge Mom than anybody else, to be honest with you. But let's continue on. She's just like Judge Uptight Mom, I think.
Into the front yard, and then he was also going into the backyard and jumping over the fence. And so that was an issue they were having, and it appears that when this offense occurred, that was the main issue, and then it progressed into a family violence situation.
Mr. Dorley, you realize, I mean, I don't know why you thought you could take your frustrations out on your mom that way. I mean, I know you don't like being holed up in there in the house, but that was a result of your own choices, okay? And so if you're going to continue to make those choices, we can just keep you holed up here or you can be holed up at home. What would you rather do?
At home.
Okay, at home where you can continue to violate the rules. I mean, your mom, you're putting all kinds of stress on her. She's trying to prevent you from violating the court's orders, okay? And you're giving her a hard time about that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
It makes sense to you? To give your mom a hard time because she's trying to help you follow the orders?
Ma'am.
Doesn't make sense, does it? So it is a house, right? It's not an apartment. Is that right, ma'am?
It's a house, yeah.
Okay, so here's what you can do, Mr. Dorley. You want fresh air, you want to sit outside, how about do it in the garage? Okay? Because that's part of the building, that's part of the perimeters that you can be in.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a space, is there a spot in the garage where he can hang out?
Yes,
Or does he need to clean it out first?
it is clean.
Okay, mine's not. I'm just saying if my kids want to hang out and if they have to clear it out and make some space. So I'm just saying if he wants to hang out there and it needs, you guys need chores or something done, then he can do that. So you've been on level 1 outstanding for 5 days. Give me Friday. Show me that you can continue to follow rules, okay? Because you had a hiccup. And I don't want to send you out of here at risk of having any more hiccups because then you're going to end up here a lot longer the next time, I'm sure of it, okay?
Yeah.
So give me Friday, level 1 outstanding behavior. You're still on level 1 outstanding. Friday, it's only 3 more days away, okay?
Yeah.
Then you can be released to mom or dad and you will be on a monitor again, okay? And then when you're home with mom, I expect you to give her level 1 outstanding plus behavior, especially after the way you treated her. Okay? All right, thank you. That'll be the order of the court.
So he's not gonna be out today? Friday.
No, I'll let him out on Friday if he continues to have outstanding behavior here. Okay?
Friday at what time?
You'll have to talk to his PO about that.
I'll call you, Mom.
Are you able to come on Friday for him?
Say that one more time?
Are you able to come on Friday for him?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Yeah, just meet with his PO before you go.
okay, thank you.
This is my coffee fix again.
No, Mary, that last one I gave you, I know I filled it out. Did I sign it? I don't think so. Okay.
Feathers, Judge?
Yes,
Okay, just one moment.
we have, should be Ms. Featherstone next.
Okay, thank you. Judge,
Thank you, Ms. Paxton.
Judge, mother is coming in a wheelchair. It's going to take us just a moment.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I just had that feeling, and my muscle memory wasn't there for that one, so.
Oh, no worries, man. Let's see if we can get you through here.
We can, we just did it.
Did we? Okay, fantastic. Okay, we'll get you over there. And I'm going to move a couple of these chairs so she can kind of go down just a bit. I won't get you behind with this thing though. Okay. Thanks, T. All right. There we go. Okay, Judge, thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, the next one after this, I believe, is an out of custody, and Judge Kim will take over for that one. Okay, so Ms. Featherson,
Yes, ma'am.
this is a detention hearing. You have a right to have this hearing within 2 business days of being brought in here to Kimbo. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether you will be detained here or you will be sent home with a parent or guardian, okay? They have you here because they are alleging that you have committed conduct, which if committed by an adult would be considered criminal conduct. But because you are a juvenile, it's alleged that you have committed delinquent conduct. And so you have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing that you say today can be held against you at any other kind of hearing here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. There's an attorney here on the Zoom screen with us today named Ms. McGonigal. She's got glasses on. Ms. McGonigal, if you speak up, she can see your highlight.
Hi, Judge.
You see her there, Miss?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I need you to speak up too so I can hear you. You've got a really soft voice, okay?
Okay.
All right, you have a right to have this hearing recorded, and Ms. McGonigal will let me know if we need that done.
You guys are very sweet.
Okay, so they brought you in yesterday for the offense of assault, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You're barely 14 years old. You were referred into custody by the Arlington PD for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to the police report, at noon on yesterday, officers were dispatched to a domestic disturbance at your residence. They made contact with you, who stated that your stepdad asked you to go downstairs because your mother was calling you. Your mother had a stroke and is paralyzed and currently in a wheelchair. You went into your mother's bedroom and stepfather reported that you were being disrespectful towards your mother. You reported that while you were on the bed talking with your mom, the stepfather got on top of you and placed one knee on your throat. You informed him that you could not breathe. He moved his knee and placed his hands around your neck. And again, you told him that you could not breathe. You said that he slapped you and you kept telling him to leave you alone. And he started choking you again. When he stopped, he told you to go to your room. Once you were upstairs, you were hitting the wall with your right fist and banging the back of your head against the wall. Stepfather came into your bedroom and asked you to stop banging your head and slapped you in the face. Stepfather reported he was disciplining you for the way you were talking to your mom and that you were assaulting him by kicking him and swinging your arms and fighting him. He reported that he had to restrain you. Your brother came into the room at one point during the altercation and you pushed your brother and he pushed back. Says that you grabbed a pair of scissors and had them in your right hand, saying that I'm going to end your life, saying that to your brother. There were no injuries. Mom, what's going on here? What happened?
Sorry, we have to pause it for a second. Cutco knives are definitely a pyramid scheme. And I almost got stuck selling those when I was like 18 or 17 years old. And they have this miraculous like demo of the Cutco knives. But the whole premise of them is that you have to buy, like, you have to sell to your family. Like, it's a pyramid scheme through and through. And I remember telling my family about it, and I came home real excited. I was like, I got this job. They offered me this job, you know? And then they determined that they all needed to buy knives. And then I thought about it a little bit more and realized it was a bit of a pyramid scheme. Just like yoga, but don't get me started on that. Honestly, I should get better knives. I love cooking more and more every day, so I really should get better knives, but right now, really, I use the clean dishes and the clean knives. It's multi-level marketing. Yeah, exactly. MLM, Valentino. And, you know, I actually don't have a problem with marketing to people and like selling people things. That's a skill and that's something that needs to be done. But I don't like taking advantage of people by like forcing them to sell to their friends and family. I think that's, not great. Mary Kay is another example, just like yoga. No, I'm being serious about yoga, okay? Where I live, yoga is like huge. Everybody and their brother does yoga. And not only that, they do yoga and they also teach yoga. So like they end up no, I swear, because what happens is they all want to become teachers and then they have to get people to come to their class for free or like to pay them to be their teacher so they can get their hours to become yoga teachers. It's all a scam. It's all a pyramid scheme. And honestly, it gives me more pleasure than is normal to say to people, like I live on an island, like a hippie island. So when I say to people, I have never done yoga, it like hurts them. It hurts them inside. And that's what I want. I want to do that because I think it's a pyramid scheme totally through and through. Cutco's made in New York. See, well, this was like 15, 20 years ago. Dow Strong. Yoga is required. Yoga is required in Vancouver. Like, you all know, and Natalie will know in Vancouver, like, I would be 1 in a million for not having done yoga. And I truly believe they're all in this pyramid scheme. I also really don't like it when people go to like India or like on retreats and then come back with a new name. That's like a big thing for me. I'm not into that at all. Oh, time served. I was just explaining how yoga is a pyramid scheme. It's just, how we do. And everyone's saying about what knives they have. It started out with Cutco knives because I think those are also a multi-level marketing scheme. But anyways, let's get back to Judge Terry. This lady's bra strap is annoying, Monica, 100%. Like, I wonder if that gets added to. See? Time served. They almost hired me when I was 16, but I realized that it was a pyramid scheme. Man, it's still made in New York. I get it. I get it. But yeah, Judge Terry, I think we're calling Judge Terry Judge Karen in a way. She is so annoying. I know we need to we're gonna have a day when we'll all sharpen our knives. I'll do it on camera so that you all can feel confident about it, and we'll sharpen our knives together because mine are dull too. Anyways, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Let's keep watching this train wreck, I would call it. And I would like to just say right away, like honestly, Judge Terry, the days that she was on, she feels like she's freaking handcuffed to Judge Kim. I feel like she never makes a decision on her own. She's always making decisions of what she's been told. Sometimes with Judge Porter, you get that vibe, but you also see him sort of straying away. But with Judge Porter, or with Judge Terry, no. Amway, yeah, that's another one. There are many, but yoga is one of the best because you don't even have to have an inventory if you think about it. You just teach people down, all the stuff. Anyways, that's the rice timer. Okay, we're gonna go back to the show and I'm gonna get the stuff off the stove.
Since I had the stroke, Alani has been a little angry, but she's not a bad kid. She just let her anger get the best of her and made a mistake yesterday.
She has no prior history with the department, does she?
No.
Well, she's only 14 too. Does she ever get physical with you?
No, never.
No? Is this pretty common between her and her stepdad?
No, they have been arguing a lot lately compared to before.
Okay, how long ago was it that you had your stroke, ma'am?
In February.
In February, so it's pretty recent, and then all this coronavirus stuff hit, didn't it?
Yes.
And has she been staying home through all that?
Yes.
And what about your husband? Has he been off of work home too, or no?
He works from home.
Oh, he works from home. Okay, so everybody's been holed up at home pretty much, right?
Yes.
Does she normally get along with her brother?
Yes. They've never had a physical altercation ever. This is the first one.
Where's your husband now? Is he at home working?
No, he went to jail yesterday for the incident
Okay.
as well.
And do you want Alani home?
I do.
All right. And even if that means that your husband may not be able to come home, right?
Yes.
Okay. How old is her brother?
17.
And how does he feel about having her home?
He loves his sister. Everybody was just mad. It was just high emotions yesterday.
I get that. That happens, but I mean, somebody's got to de-escalate it, and it can't be you. You're the one that needs it to be cared for, you know?
Right.
Do you realize that, Alani? I know it's a lot. You're only 14 years old, and that's a huge burden for you to bear what your mom's been through, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
On top of everything else with the coronavirus going on and having little contact outside of the home, right?
Yes.
It's really difficult. Do you have any hobbies or things that you like to do that make you happy?
Sometimes I see my friends sometimes, but I've been taking care of, I've been staying home with my mom. I usually stay in the house.
Okay. All right. And I know that can get tiring and stuff, but if your mom needs you, she needs you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, and you may get frustrated and stuff like that, but it doesn't give you the right to disrespect her,
Yes.
right? I'm concerned that you would grab a pair of scissors and threaten your brother that way. Did your brother ever treat you that way?
No, my brother, he choked me before I pulled the scissors out.
He what?
Choked me before I pulled the scissors out.
Okay. So that was, has he ever done that to you before?
So I was just and then I was angry at the fact that he did.
Everybody got kind of, okay. Mom, do you have the capability to get her in some sort of counseling or anything?
Yes, I would love to try to get her into something.
Okay, because I think the situation at home probably needs more of that than she needs to be here. Okay.
Okay.
And I know, I'm not sure how many are out there that are taking new people in person, but you may want to look at someone who's setting up virtual appointments or something like that, to get her just some help in coping with everything. Okay. Would you be willing to do that, Alani, if mom asked you to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm willing to send you home as long as stepdad is not there. So,
Your Honor,
yes.
is CPD still active right now with the coronavirus?
Is what?
Is community-based detention still doing services?
They're
right
doing
now?
daily calls, and so is that what they're still doing? That's what I was told last, Ms. Paxton. Are they just calling in?
I thought they were doing more than that, but I can't verify that.
Well, that's what I was told like weeks ago, so I don't know now.
If they're actually doing things, then that might help with her Alani being at a house for maybe an hour or two a day, or however long they're doing things. That might relieve some of the stress felt by everybody.
I think that'll at least give her some contact with something.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to order it, and then we'll see what happens, see what,
Okay.
Your
how much
Honor,
they can possibly do. Yeah.
I just learned they're not doing any face-to-face. They're just doing teleconferencing.
Well, that'll be something. It'll be a start. So let's do that. It's community-based detention. So, Mom, before you go, you can meet with her PO, and she can explain everything to you, okay?
Okay.
And more so not as a punishment, but really, I mean, none of this is really a punishment. It's I really want to help get her on the right path since she hasn't had any other kind of contact, and this is pretty scary. But I do think it's situational. I don't think this is who you are, Miss Featherson, or nor do you want to be, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And you're 14 years old. This ought to be your first and last contact with the department. Okay. And so, I'm going to do this, make you participate. I'm going to order you to participate in community-based detention in order to help get you back on the right, kind of stop the the bleeding here and get you on the right track. Okay.
Yes,
All right. Thank you.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ladies.
No. Okay, I believe next is Brandon Gandera, and Judge Kim will take that one.
These are some of my favorites. You guys know it too. First of all, absolutely, COVID is so last year, but really it's like so 3 years ago. And these are, as a reminder to everybody, that these are from 2020. We are having a flashback watch. Judge Kim, the best hearings I ever saw, well, not the best, I can't say that, but are the ones when the kids come in and they're already out of custody and they've gotten ratted on basically by their parents. And so their parents are here, have to bring them in, and Judge Kim determines if they put them into custody or not. I'm muted? Maybe I am. I don't think so though. But the show is. I'm going to put it back on and we'll see what Judge Kim has to say. But anyways, I love it when they get arrested and they have to go take off all their jewelry and shit and give it to their mom. Ah! Oh, it's because I moved my mouse. I forgot I had my mouse here. Okay, guys, we'll go back to watching the show. And dinner's almost ready. I'm making these really awesome paratha things and to go along with the curry. So I'm glad to hear that you guys can hear me. Maybe Courtney's just back a wee bit. I'm glad. Yes, out of custody coming up. Let's take a look and see. Oh, and remember we used to do this in the chat all the time, but like 1 for detained, 2 for released. So do we think that this out of custody hearing is going to result in a detention or a release? 1 for detained, 2 for released. Did you see a naughty pic? Maybe. On my computer? Probably. I don't know. All right, let's hear it.
Ladies, have a good day. Oh, that's all right. You're taking care of it. Well, yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Remington.
Hi, Judge. Which one are we looking for?
For Gandera, it's an out-of-custody detention hearing.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Gandera?
Do it.
Okay. Judge, the client's in the restroom.
Okay.
Didn't one person run away one time in the middle, like they came for an out of custody and then disappeared? Remind me if that actually happened. Also, 1 if we think they're going to be, did I say 1 for detained, 2 for released?
You see anyone?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
You should try and fuck me.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Gandara, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. All right, what I need to let you know is the decision I need to make is whether the offense that you are alleged to have committed warrants you to be detained in our detention facility or to be released into the community. Okay? You have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. And finally, you have a right to an attorney. And if you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. Ms. McGonigal, I believe, has been appointed as your attorney for the purposes of this hearing. You can see her. It's the lady with the glasses, the blue shirt, and the long hair. All right. So what I want to go over is this offense report. And so I know you were released yesterday from a detention facility, but I took personal interest in this one because of the things that are going on currently in our society, in our community. All right. So on Sunday, June 1st, well, first of all, I want to go over looking at your past. You're almost 17 years old. You'll turn 17 in July. And then you were brought in, let's see, when you were 13 for felony theft from person, but you were given a supervisory caution. And then you had turned 14, and then you had a resisting arrest, which was a misdemeanor.
Hold on. On that resisting arrest charge, is not accurate.
Ma'am.
He was at.
Ma'am, it's not your turn to talk. Okay. So you were brought in for resisting arrest, right? Now I know on the theft from person, the DA supervisor cautioned you, and then on the resisting arrest, our juvenile probation department gave you a supervisory caution, but so the case never went on. But those are your prior contacts with this department. Ms. Rojas, are you here?
I'm right here.
Okay, did we give him a UA when he came in on June 1st?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, I mean, he has prior contacts
No.
with his department. Do you know why we didn't give him, like, it's supposed to be automatic when he comes in?
No, Your Honor, but he wasn't given one.
Okay, all right, well, it's not done, it's not done. Okay, so Brandon, so on Sunday you were brought in by Fort Worth PD. According to the police report at 10 o'clock, there's an order by the Fort Worth Police Department for everyone on the 7th Street Bridge to disperse and vacate the surrounding areas because of the unlawful protest. Another order was given at 10:15, and people were given chance to disperse again. At 12:20 in the morning, Fort Worth Police helicopter saw a person on the roof of the 7-Eleven gas station on West 7th Street.
It's not you.
And so the police came there and arrested you for not following the dispersal order. And so you had told the officers that you were live streaming the riot or the protest. So you were brought here to the detention facility who released you.
That is a lie because he got charged at 10 o'clock at night for his conviction.
Ma'am?
I was there when he got arrested. It was 10 o'clock at night.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to make this easy. So my concern is whether you have adequate supervision in the
He
community.
does.
And so my concern is, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to.
Can we explain anything, please? He did not go there for anything like.
Terry, can you make me a co-host, please?
Can we explain? Because they're saying things that's not true.
Judge Terry, can you please make me a co-host?
But they're saying things that's not true.
All right, well, I'll try and continue. If you can call Teresa, let her know.
Judge, there it is.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so Brandon, I'm sorry, I have to mute your channel so I can't hear. I'll give you a chance to speak in just a second. All right, so then my concern is right now with everything going on in the community and the people being harmed. And we had police officers shot last night in the back of the head with the rocks being thrown and the damage being done to the community. Right? I feel like this is not a time for people to just engage in shenanigans. and do what they want. What gives me a particular bigger concern is that you're a child entering into this situation, and if you're live streaming this, you're just glorifying this for other people, right? And if anything, you are part of the problem because you're drawing attention to this, somehow glorifying this, or you are yourself benefiting from this by giving yourself more attention. I want to have a talk with you to figure out where things are going, but clearly, given your mom's behavior now and given your behavior on Sunday, I don't think there's adequate supervision in this community for you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and order you detained. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Judge Sherry, I'm going to hand it over back to you.
All right, thank you, Judge. Next, we've got.
So he
Andrew
was detained,
Handy.
right? Yeah.
I believe that's Mr.
I
Gladstone.
just stop one more thing. I'm sorry, Judge Sherry, for interrupting.
That's okay.
Ms. Rojas, can we make sure he gets a UA now? Like, I definitely want to get one in since he's coming back into custody this time. Okay.
I will.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And then make sure you can see yourself again, and then she talks to you.
Ms. Turner Hill, is there a parent here for Mr. Handy?
He is actually on Zoom, Your Honor. Henry is the name. Dad doesn't have transportation, and so he's on. You see Henry.
Okay. Henry, this is Judge Terry. If you can hear me, when it's your turn to speak, you'll have to unmute yourself, just making sure that you can hear us right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gladstone's here. Okay.
Judge.
For who? No, he has it. Yeah, I gave it to him. Okay. All right, Mr. Handy. I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd District Court. This is your detention hearing. You have a right to this hearing within 2 business days of being brought in here to Kimbo. And the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether you should be released to a parent or guardian, or if you should stay here with us at Kimbo a little while longer. Of course, you are brought in because it's being alleged that you have engaged in conduct that, if it were committed by an adult, would be considered criminal conduct. But because you are under 17, it's considered delinquent conduct, okay? Just wanted to remind you, you have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing that you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you have a right to an attorney. And in fact, your attorney, Mr. Gladstone, is here on the screen. Do you see Mr. Gladstone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. Gladstone will let me know if you need to have this hearing recorded. So let's see, you are brought back in. Oh.
Your Honor, he's the companion.
Yes, you were with Mr. Andrade. Okay. All right, you're 16. You're brought in this morning for, it's alleged that you've engaged in organized criminal activity and burglary of a building. Yesterday at 23:39 hours, Fort Worth PD dispatched 3 officers, including the K-9 unit, to Dunbar High School because a concerned citizen contacted police stating they saw 3 men in dark clothes carrying a hammer. When they arrived, one officer observed 3 young men inside the school and directed the other officers to the suspect's location inside of the building. Officers noticed the young men had crowbars and were prying open lockers, taking items and stacking them in the hallway. Officers inside the building moved toward the location and described and apprehended Mr. Andrade that you were with and you immediately. The 3rd suspect fled on foot and was later apprehended by officers in the area. That suspect is 17 years old. Officers observed a great deal of broken glass and a damaged soda machine, and the damage is so far estimated at $5,700. You guys probably damaged more than you actually would have scored out of there. All right, Dad, is it true that you're having continuous behavioral problems with him at home too?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can see that he's, let's see. He is, oh, well, he's been pretty, somewhat lucky. He had an assault public servant in 2018 dismissed, another dismissal in 2018 or 2000, I'm sorry, those were 2018 offenses. Dismissed in 2019. He was on probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2019. Violations of a court order dismissed. DTA, non-reportable violation, other court order disposed of in 2019. The DTA issued on that back in December. Can't even make it 6 months, Mr. Handy. What are you doing? Take advantage of the fact that you guys, I mean, you guys are, someone's smart in your group. I mean, you're not smart enough to figure out something else to do, but you guys are smart enough to figure out there's stuff left in the schools due to this pandemic, and you thought it'd be a good idea to go take advantage of that. Why was there no UA?
Your Honor, I'm not sure. I called at 8 o'clock this morning, and then I tried again right before detention hearings. I'm not sure why one was not given, so.
Well, Mr. Handy, here's the thing. Your dad's not willing to take you back at home because he says you're just a constant problem. My guess is that he's not even been staying home. He's probably been running around this whole time with his friends and whatever, doing what he wants, right?
Yes, he's been just running around.
I mean,
Thinking he's grown. Didn't even finish his homework. He got summer school.
well, he can do summer school here, or he can do it at home. It looks like he wants to do it here.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful because in HMR he wouldn't let him give him a blood test or nothing. He wouldn't take meds or nothing.
Mr. Handy, where did you meet this 17-year-old that you guys were with? I mean, you're almost his age. So the bad news for you is that this continues, and you continue to act this way. You'll be downtown with him next time. Yeah. Where'd you meet him at?
He was staying with the other one, the other boy we was with.
Okay. Yeah, with the 14-year-old. So not only that, now you're with the younger boy who you should be an example for. Yeah. And you're running around getting him in trouble with you too.
No, it wasn't even our me and his idea. It was the 17-year-old's idea.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter whose idea it is. The fact is that it looks like you were all there, and you need to be reined in a little bit again before you get yourself in bigger trouble. So now you should have been given a UA when you came in, but for some reason you weren't.
I did take a UA.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the results going to be? And before you answer that, I do want to know, if you say it's going to be negative for all substances and it comes back positive, we're going to have some problems and it's going to make your stay here longer. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're honest and you think
Miss, I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm dirty. I was dirty on the
Okay. What are you dirty for?
Marijuana.
Just marijuana. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I ain't say nothing else. Nothing else. Just marijuana.
Okay. When's the last time you used that?
Like a couple hours before we went into the school.
Okay. And how often do you use that?
Like twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay. My guess is that you're getting it from the 17-year-old too, but you don't have to tell me that. Okay, well, you are a danger to yourself and the community, clearly, so I am going to order that you be detained. And I don't want to consider your release until your levels are 0, till you're cleaned. And you also will have to be on level 1 outstanding behavior. Yeah. And you don't have a parent that wants to deal with you right now. So you do your part in here and then show dad and the court that you could be trusted out in the community to follow the rules, and we'll reconsider the next time, okay?
And
Judge, are you going to set some kind of maybe a day, how long he's going to be on level 1 to reconsider this?
Well,
And I understand that the parents' feelings are dynamic here as well.
right. And I'm just going to say he's going to be detained at least till his next detention hearing for sure, because I need to make sure his levels are 0. He's saying he uses twice a week. Need to make sure he at least tests clean on a UA. That way, when he goes home and decides he wants to keep acting this way, we'll know if he's using out there again, if he comes back in dirty. And then hopefully he doesn't do that, but I've got to have some sort of way to have a baseline for that.
I understand.
Yeah, and so I'm going to want him to be at level 1 outstanding for 7 days straight, okay?
Yeah,
7 straight days, not business days, just 7 straight days, okay? And that means no mistakes where you have a setback and then you get back to level 1 and 7 total. I need 7 straight. All right, Mr. Handy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe Brian Hernandez is next. Do you have a parent that's coming for him?
Mom should be here.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
And Mr. Sierra, I think I saw you on here. That's yours.
Yes, Judge.
Ava? Okay.
I'm here.
Looks like Mom's coming in.
And Mom speaks Spanish, so I'll translate if needed.
Thank you. Okay.
And Judge, also, there is a typo in the offense report. You can ignore that first line. It's just the offense.
Okay.
My apologies.
I'll look. Thank you. Okay, so the first sentence is all alone.
Yes, ma'am.
Ignore that. Okay.
And since it is now a 10-day instead of a out of custody hearing.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hernandez. I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd District Court. This is your 10-day detention hearing. You have a right to this hearing. I think this is going to be your first 10-day. Yeah. Every 10 business days to determine whether we will keep you here at Kimbo with us or we can release you to a parent or guardian. Remember that you have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing. I can only consider it for purposes of detention, okay? And you have the right to an attorney, and your attorney is present here on the Zoom screen. It's Rafael Sierra. Do you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And your attorney will let me know if you need to.
Sorry, I had to pause. Is this Mr. Sierra? Sort of one of my faves over the years, I have to admit. God, what could we call her? Judge Annoying Mom? Honestly, the more I listen to her, the less I like her. But anyways, what do we think with this one? I literally had to write myself a reminder. 1 equals detained, 2 equals released. What do we think's gonna happen with this one? I don't know, but I love seeing Mr. Sierra. He's really nice. He's a good guy. Of the lawyers, he's one of my favorites for sure. And thank you all for being here, by the way. If you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. It really helps me out. I dance around my kitchen all the time when I get likes and subs, so please do. Thank you. Judge Karen, yeah.
Have your hearing recorded. So it says that you've been on level 1 outstanding for approximately the last 7 days. Well, probably 8. You were referred in on the 19th of March. At Arlington PD for burglary of vehicles. Says around 2:40 in the morning. Complainant advised that he saw 3 Hispanic males flee towards the school after being in a neighbor's vehicle. Officers located 3 Hispanic males who said they were going to 7-Eleven. Witnesses confirmed the 3 Hispanic males were the ones he saw inside the neighbor's vehicle. 3 males were identified and admitted to entering the car but not finding anything to take. The supervisory caution, assault with bodily injury before. When you were brought in, you were positive for marijuana. Okay, so Mr. Nava, when did he get, let's see, when he got to level 1 outstanding on the 25th, was that his first time he got there?
No, that was actually his second time. He did get to level 1-0 as soon as he could, but he had a hiccup just one day. He dropped down to 1A just for talking in line.
Okay. And mom is here. And it looks like he's pretty consistent with his smoking marijuana because he tested positive in March and in May. Do you have any idea where he's getting this from, Mom?
Mamá, ¿usted sabe de dónde está ganando la marihuana su hijo?
No.
So he was previously released, but he was not on a monitor. Is that what it is, Mr. Nava?
That's correct. He was released on community-based detention, and then a progress report was submitted, which is why we had an out-of-custody hearing to address some conduct issues. But I believe if memory serves me right, I think Judge Porter detained him more for him not participating with the community-based detention.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they reported to me.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what it is too. I mean, that was the deal, Mr. Hernandez. You weren't let out just to be out and do whatever you want to do. You ordered to participate in community-based detention, and you refused to. Not only did you refuse to do that, you're still going to go out smoking marijuana and going to do whatever you want to do. So.
Have you heard, Judge?
Go ahead, Mr. Sierra.
Judge, I have spoken to my client and I've spoken to his mom. And from our last hearing that we had, the judge's reason for detaining him at that point was specifically for the community-based participation, and because his name came out in an office report at that time. He did not have a level 1 at that time like he does today. His mom is willing to receive him. They are making an adjustment at home that was different from before. Mom goes to work at 3 a.m. and comes back in the afternoon, and there was no supervision for him. And the adjustment that she's making is that now his 21-year-old sister, Jennifer Hernandez, will be supervising him during the day, whereas before he didn't have any supervision. I will also say, Judge, that she would tell you that she doesn't believe that he's afraid of him absconding. And while his criminal history, Judge, does not warrant for him to be further detained, I will ask that you please release him on an ankle monitor again, and understand that his mom will take aggressive measures to make sure that he is not around the wrong crowd. And my client has specifically let me know that he will not be around the wrong crowd of individuals, so that he could stay home and be in line with the court's order, Judge.
Okay. Do they live in a house or an apartment, Mr. Nava?
Leave the house.
They're in a house. So here's what's going to happen, Mr. Hernandez. I'm not afraid of you absconding and running off either, because you have it good at home. You come and go as you please. You do what you want. You still get to smoke weed. So your behavior level has been outstanding for the last week. So I'm going to let you go home, but you are going to be on an electronic monitor. You will not be leaving the house. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You can sit in the garage and hang out if you want some fresh air or something like that. And you are not to have any friends over that your mother does not approve of. Okay? Not your sister, but your mom. So, Mr. Nava, can you let his mom know that?
Yes, ma'am. Mamá, el juez sí le va a dejar ir a la casa con el monitor, y no puede tener ningún amigos, amigas sin permiso de usted. Si usted dice que no puede entrar nadie. No la armaron más usted.
Okay. That means if mom is at work, Mr. Hernandez, your mom is at work and you want a friend over, then your sister needs to contact your mom, because I don't trust you and I don't think your sister should either. So you're going to have to, you and your sister, communicate with your mom and make sure that that's okay.
Yes,
right?
Judge, if I may?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Judge, if I may ask?
Yes.
Judge, can he still visit his lawyer's office? Because I do need to meet with him to discuss it.
Yes, he can visit you. You can hang out with your lawyer, okay, when he needs you to, all right? That's it. And your PO is going to have to provide that information. I don't want him going to hanging out in your law office parking lot doing other stuff.
No.
Claiming he was at his lawyer's office.
No,
Kids are, they think they're smart, you know?
no.
So, all right.
Just like Judge thinks she's smart.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, that'll be the order. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Mamá, si me esperan en el pasillo,
Sí.
regreso como en 10 minutos.
Gracias.
I'm going to pause it for 1 second and just say, because I'm seeing all these comments about tobacco charges, which honestly, I think would be a better thing to charge people for than for marijuana. And, but whatever, you know, it's taxed and stuff. But, the guy in Mansfield, so I posted this week, Mansfield, first appearances. I love Judge Calloway over in Mansfield. And he, the kid, I can't remember if it was the tobacco kid or there was like a drug paraphernalia person that was in, but he had to write a 10-page essay as part of his sentence. And I was like, I never went to university, so I don't know, but I'll tell you the truth. I never wrote a 10-page essay on anything for school or nothing. Maybe if a judge ordered me to do it, I would do it, but I swear to God, I was shook. And part of me realizes Judge Calloway will read that essay. 100p, he will. Some judges I bet wouldn't, but I guarantee Judge Calloway would. So I feel like writing to him and being like, do you have a collection of all the essays that you've made people write? Like, I'd love to just read over those and just see what bullshit these kids come up with and what they spew out for 10 pages. That would be a great live stream. Just read them aloud. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Muse, I see you there. Courtney, $100 ticket for underage smoking. You know, where I live, that is like 4 packs of cigarettes. Cigarettes are so expensive, apparently. They're like $25 a pack or something like that. It's insane. So I know, I'm serious. Like, first of all, he did not specify spacing, font, or anything like that, word count. He said a page number. So I absolutely would be spacing it, but I'm sure he wouldn't like that. And you got to be careful. You know, you fuck around, you find out. That's sort of the rule, right? Anyways, let's continue on and see where Judge Terry takes us here. But yeah, I honestly think they should be harsher on alcohol and smoking than they are on marijuana, because people that, like, you really don't often hear about people on weed like going crazy. That's usually like a meth thing, or alcohol, really. But $5 a pack, my gosh. I did used to smoke, I'll be honest about that, but when I got pregnant, I quit smoking and I haven't smoked again. And 10 pages, I know, seriously, like 10 pages. And I just want to see what he comes up with. The other thing in that video of Mansfield was there was a Canadian kid that had got popped for stealing from Walmart. And he claimed it was something to do with the scales, because we use scales here. But apparently everyone in the comments is telling me y'all use scales in the States too. So I don't know what what happened to him. It seems very odd. But anyways, all right, let's get back to watching this. I'm drinking my coffee and cleaning up.
Okay, Mr. Menendez is next, and that would be Mr. Gladstone. Mr. Nava, that's yours again, too.
Is here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gladstone, can you unmute yourself? It's not, there you go, thank you.
Yep.
Yes, that would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Your Honor, the name of the next kid, Your Honor?
The next one we have is Matthew Menendez. It looks like we have parents here for that one.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then Judge Kim will be taking the next one after this again. Okay, Mr. Menendez, this is your detention hearing. I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd District Court.
Yes, ma'am.
The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not you will be released to a parent or guardian, if you will stay here at Kimball a little while longer. You were brought in yesterday because it's alleged that you have committed delinquent conduct. If the same thing was committed by an adult, it'd be considered a crime. But because you are not an adult, it is considered delinquent conduct. Okay, and so you have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have a right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. However, we do have your attorney, Mr. Gladstone, here on the screen for you. You see him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you also have a right to have your hearing recorded. And if you choose to do that, Mr. Gladstone will let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
So it says you were brought in yesterday for, is his mom there, by the way? Is that his mom?
Yes.
Okay. You were brought in yesterday for assault causes bodily injury to a family member and another pending petition for theft of property, more than 100, less than 750. Okay, so you're brought in today by Arlington PD. Says officers were called out to a domestic disturbance. Was he brought in today or yesterday? It says, I'm confused.
My apologies, Your Honor. That should be yesterday.
Okay, so it was yesterday. It says yesterday everywhere else except for the one in the paragraph. So per the report, officers were called out to a domestic disturbance, and upon arrival, officers met with the complainant, who is your mom. Let's see. It says you were seen on the 3rd floor yelling at your mom and the officers. Mom advised that you were upset at her for not giving you any money. You continued to demand money and yelled at your mom as you inched closer to her. You demanded money from your sister. When your sister refused, you began to threaten her and that you would take money and kill the whole family to make her suffer. Mom came to intervene, but you spit at your sister approximately 3 times. The officers only had a Class C offense at the moment, but they returned to the family's home as the mother called 911 again. Mom advised that you were yelling at her for calling 911 and she was trying to walk away. You followed her into a room, so she left her room, into her own room, and then so she left her own room. And then upon leaving, you slammed the door shut on her arm, causing her pain. As you were being escorted to the police car, you continued to harass your mother and even wanted to fight the arresting officer.
All right, so Your Honor, I did not.
Yeah, okay, I don't want to hear from you right now, okay? It's not your turn yet, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And And you also have pending the January 29th alleged offense where a student reported to the SRO at Sam Houston High School that your phone had been stolen. The victim let you borrow his phone to make a phone call and you ran away with his phone. Security video was reviewed and identified you. Security went to your class, but you were not present. And then the next day, they located you in the school. You were handcuffed and searched, and the phone was found on your person. And then you were detained and brought here. You were positive for marijuana when you were brought in yesterday. Mom, has he threatened you guys before?
Yes, and actually, as of yesterday, I didn't know of the threat, this actual threat. He has threatened to kill his whole family and make us suffer, and because he feels like that we've ruined his life and he's gonna ruin ours.
So you ruined his life, how?
I'm not sure where he's coming from that.
Okay. How many other people are in the home? You and his sister, and who else?
Me and his sister.
Okay, and you guys are in an apartment there?
Yes.
I'm assuming that you don't want him home right now, am I correct?
That is correct.
And I'm assuming that's because you're afraid of him?
Yes, I'm afraid of what he could do when he does not get his way. And then he tries whatever he can do to get his way, and then he goes back to the same things.
Well, he's having a tantrum like a toddler, except for he's a big boy now, so he's threatening you and his sister.
He's kicked down my door twice. I've had to call the cops out. He has destroyed property. He destroyed her room, tore it all apart because he was looking for money. He has said that he's going to take other like electronics and go take them until he can have money if we don't give it to him.
So I'm assuming he wants money for marijuana or what else? What's so important that he's willing to hurt you and his sister for money? Do you know?
Yeah.
You don't know?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I mean, what does he need money for so bad that he's willing to hurt you guys for it?
That's what I'm not understanding. And then when the cops do come out, he tries to play the victim role. Like he's not getting fed, or he thinks that the system is for him, or that I'm going to be responsible for whatever happens. So he just does whatever he feels like doing.
Okay, Mr. Menendez, is there food in your home?
Yes, Your Honor.
Speak up, please. I cannot hear you.
Yes,
Sit up straight, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, there's food. Okay, do you have clothes to wear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I just mean like whatever. I mean, you know you have clothes to wear, right? Okay, do you have a bed to sleep in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. You understand that your mom doesn't have to provide anything else for you at all? She does not have to give you cash. She doesn't have to give you anything. She has to provide those basic necessities that I just asked you about. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming, ma'am, that you're the only source of income there?
Yes.
So here's what it is, Mr. Mendez. If you want money and you need money so bad, you can probably do some research and look into how it is you can make your own money, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Without stealing.
Yeah, legally, yes, exactly. Through some kind of an employment, earning your money somehow, okay? She's not your bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I do want a psychological on him, and I also I think he's going to come back just fine, just being an angry, disrespectful teenager, basically. But I do want, out of an abundance of caution, I want that. And I am going to order you detained, Mr. Menendez. Your mom doesn't, I can't release you to your mom anyway, and I don't trust that you wouldn't hurt her and or your sister. And also because you're out there smoking marijuana 15 years old. And so you're a danger to yourself and your own family, so I'm going to order you detained.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'll meet you in the lobby, Mom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, the next one is Jason Rhymes, and Judge Kim is going to take that one.
Another moonlight from Judge Kim.
Actually, make sure you're saying yes or no, and make sure you're speaking up.
All right, hello, Mr. Rhymes. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days thereafter to make the same decision. I want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court hearing. Finally, you do have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so going forward. All right, so Mr. Rhymes, what I see is you're 16, you just turned 16 years old. You're previously referred to this department on, let's see, I think you were 13 years old for criminal trespass and evading arrest. Now, I know those cases were non-suited, so they were kind of rejected by the DA's office, but it's just a prior contact with our department. All right. We gave you a drug test when you came in, and you tested positive for marijuana. And so, looking at this, see, back in September of last year, Sampson Park Police brought you in for a warrant for a burglary of a motor vehicle. That happened in June of last year. Victim contacted the police, said that his family's vehicle is being constantly broken into on different occasions. They had a surveillance camera, and they thought it was you, a neighbor, as the person who did it. So the officers got the video, still shots from the surveillance system. One showed you taking a wireless speaker from a car. Then they spoke with your dad and then followed him to their home. They found the stolen speaker, and the victim was able to connect it with Bluetooth and play it, and showing that it was actually his. So they told you you'll be referred to the juvenile department here in Tarrant County. We signed a warrant on July 27th of last year. You were brought into custody on September 4th after the officers on an unrelated call saw you walking home. So you were processed and released to the family. The idea was that if we let you go, you'll just come back for court. Warrant was signed off on December 19th because you did not appear for an adjudication hearing and you skipped court. So you were arrested by the Sampson Park Police and brought without incident yesterday, June 1st. All right, so this is technically your third referral to Juvenile Probation Department, and your family has failed to appear for intakes. So I guess, Ms. Aguirre, I guess the question is, when you're saying the family have failed to appear for intakes, that's for the evading arrest and criminal trespass?
Yes, Your Honor, and they also failed to appear for intakes for the current offense.
So the family just doesn't bring him in for anything?
Correct.
So I guess, and you probably don't know this, but the question I have in my head is, why did the DA non-suit it if he didn't even show up for intake? Right now, you're not the DA's office, so you can't answer that. All right, so the question is, Jason, what I see here is you're just skipping court and smoking weed. So I guess, are you mom here attending?
Mom and sister.
Mom and sister. All right, so my question is, where's he getting the weed?
I'm guessing his friends. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean,
it's mellowed out
A lot. Like it's not as bad as it was a couple years ago.
How bad was it a couple years ago?
Pretty bad, like every day, but we've had a lot of family problems and a lot of emotional like trauma stuff
Right.
happen. But it's died down a lot and he's done a lot better. Like he stayed out of trouble for a couple months. It's just that we haven't had a good connection with getting rides here and stuff. But me and my husband will bring him every time he has court. We'll bring him. We promise we'll bring him.
So if there's no rides, did you at least call probation to let them know that there's a ride problem?
No, because I didn't know if his dad had done that or not.
Well, I mean, you're the sister. It's not your responsibility. I'm really talking to mom.
His dad dealt with that, and obviously he didn't deal with it the right way
Well, he didn't deal with it at all.
either.
Yeah, and so, okay, so, but I'm trying to get back to this. Like, you don't know, Mom, do you know where he's getting the weed from?
No,
Okay. I mean, does he come home smelling like weed?
I mean, I really don't. Not that I know of. I mean, I don't hang out with him. I mean, I see him all the time, but I don't know where he's getting it from.
Right, but that didn't answer my question. I'm saying, does he come home smelling like weed?
No, not that I smell.
Okay. I mean, do y'all smoke weed?
No.
I'm sorry. Again, Judge Kim just like obsessed with the smell of the weed. Is it good quality? Can you smell it when he gets home? Is it dank weed? Is what he's asking basically. Do y'all smoke weed? No, not us sitting in a Coca-Cola shirt in court. For goodness sakes. Anyways, here we go.
So who does he hang out with then? I mean, so you understand my problem is he's got a pending case and it's for theft, and then he's evidently using whatever money he gets. Does he have a job?
No.
So where would he get the money for the marijuana?
His friends. I mean, they obviously they hang out together. I'm not, like I said, they hang out with different kids. They're all.
So if he's smoking weed with his friends, why are you letting him hang out with those friends?
Are you gonna?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a quick because Mom, ultimately you're responsible. It's not sister. I understand. I mean, you can have your opinion, but there's not much you can do. This is really Mom's responsibility. And I'm not trying to beat you up, Mom. It's a legitimate concern. Like, we know he's got a pending case. He's skipping court. He's had prior cases. Sister's telling me that he had a severe problem using weed and the people he's hanging out with. You seem to know that the people he's hanging out with are not good. So why aren't you stopping him from hanging out with these people?
You know, teenagers, they really don't listen. They're don't listen.
Who's they? You said they don't listen. Who is they?
My kids.
How many kids do you have?
I've got my 2 boys with me. I've got 5 kids altogether, but the other ones are adults.
Okay. Like with you here?
No, I've got 2 boys that stay with me.
So where's Dad in the picture?
He's at home, waiting for me to get home.
So they don't listen to Dad either?
I mean, they do to certain extents, but they keep to themselves.
Okay, I'm confused. You're saying that they hang out with friends, but now you're saying they keep to themselves. Like
They keep to themselves with their friends. Like they don't really connect with the mom and dad very good. They don't talk to them.
Okay, so Mom, what are you doing to fix that?
Obviously nothing.
Well, I mean, I don't mean that way. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Trying to figure out how do we address the core issues here.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I mean, because my concern is it seems like it's apparent to everyone in the house. I guess, sister, do you live with Mom and Dad and Jason?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it seems to me that, it's obvious to the sister that there's a problem here. And what I'm hearing from you is there's a problem, but either you don't care, or, and I don't mean this in a mean way. I'm a very blunt
Right.
person. It's like, it's not important to you, or you're not finding a way to fix a problem, right? So it's either in your mind, it's not a problem, or it's just not a big enough problem to fix. And I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Because you have to remember, if I'm releasing Jason, I have to release him
Right.
expecting him to come back to court.
Right.
So, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now through this conversation is I have to be confident that if I release him to you, that unlike the last time or the time before, that you will actually bring him to court.
Right.
So that's why I'm asking these questions about how come you're not stopping him. Why aren't you stopping this drug use?
I don't know how. There's a lot.
No, I know, but I think we can agree. Marijuana aside,
Right.
pot does not make you smart. Can we agree that?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't make you smart. So at the very least, we can agree it's not helping Jason.
Right.
If anything, it's only hurting Jason because now this is an issue I'm dealing with him brought into detention for missing court, and now it's an issue of using marijuana. So, and I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from, how much y'all know about it, how much like he's getting support or pushback from home about it. I mean, do you have conversations with him that he shouldn't be smoking?
I'm guessing not, obviously, if he's.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's
Right. I understand.
So you've never had a conversation with him that he shouldn't be smoking weed?
I mean, he knows, I'm sure that he shouldn't be. I mean, he knows that it's wrong. I know that, but it's not, I don't.
That didn't answer my question. You've never had a
It's a
conversation with him?
communication problem that we have, I guess.
Mr. Gladstone, do you mind if I ask your client questions about the marijuana that's not an alleged offense?
No, Judge, I have no objection.
Okay. All right. So, Jason, I just have a couple questions for you. So, where are you getting the weed from?
I smoked with my friends like a week ago.
But where are you getting it from?
My friends, I smoked with them. I ain't getting them. I just smoke with them.
So, you just smoke with your friends, right? Your parents know you smoke with your friends?
No, they didn't. They did for a while, but then I tried to stop.
They did for, okay, hold on a second, all right? So I'm hearing a different story than from your sister. You're saying sister saying used to be really bad, now it's not so bad anymore.
No,
So,
I tried to stop. It used to be really bad.
right. I mean, because you got to come in smelling like weed, right? No, you don't smell like weed? How does that work?
I don't come home smelling like weed.
How does that work? How do you not, if you smoke weed, how do you not come
He
home not smell like
mixed
weed?
it with cologne. Like
He's
he matched.
Cologne,
He's-
probably.
He has a good cover. If he wants to, yeah.
I mean, you can put an air freshener on bear poop, and all it does is make it smell like pine-scented bear poop. Well, so there's a couple things here, all right? So I need you to understand, Mom, that when we release him to you, that you were signing that piece of paper that you signed, it says that you can go to jail if you not bring the child back for court.
Sure.
Right? You understand, if I release him to you, that I will issue a warrant for you for him not, if he doesn't appear in court.
Okay.
Okay? And you would be housed in the downtown jail. You understand that, correct?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm kind of concerned about all things going on. So before I go forward and release him to you, I want to ask, Mom, can I give you a drug test to make sure that you're clean before I release him to you?
I guess.
I mean, it needs to be. I mean, I'm just asking. Do you mind submitting a drug test so I can release him to you?
Yes. I didn't know if you heard me. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, you do mind, or yes, you do not mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll do it.
Yeah.
Yes, you do mind.
Yeah. No. Yes, I will.
Oh, yes, you will. Okay. All right. And sister, you don't mind? Also, do you mind submitting a drug test? I just want to make sure that his home environment is safe.
Right.
Part of it is because of his drug use, and then part of it is because whatever support in the home is not providing the adequate support. I mean, do you,
Right.
sister, do you mind either? No?
I don't believe the sister lives there though, Judge.
Oh, I thought she said they all live there.
I have my own family. Like I have my husband and my kids there, and we stay down the street, but I'm there quite often. Like every day.
I mean, there's nothing, I mean, there's no, you can't get in trouble for this. I mean, there's no criminal charge that can come out. I mean, if somebody chooses to do something, they choose to do something. I'm just wondering if y'all are willing to, because this is, I think there's a two-part problem to this. One is Brandon's or Jason's use of marijuana.
Mhm.
The other part is his support at home, that they're not bringing him to court like they're supposed to. Mom, we could have already issued a warrant for you. You signed that paper last time when I let him go.
Right.
So we didn't, you know, I mean, because nobody benefits by parents in jail. I don't want to do that, but it's very important.
I've never came to get him
This is
here.
her first
This
time.
is my first
doing
time
it.
coming here to get him.
Previously, whenever he had court dates, it was dad and my
brother,
hu-
which
my
is
husband.
outside.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I could have, I'm sorry then, I could have issued a warrant for dad then, right?
Yeah, but
I don't want to.
Right.
It doesn't help the kids, doesn't help your family if I put parents in jail for not showing up to court.
Okay.
But you understand, I have that ability to do so. And when I
Yes.
have conversations like this, I'm telling you, probably next time, if he doesn't show up, I will, my patience will eventually wear thin. And so I will sign that warrant, okay? So I need to make sure that you understand that you'll promise. Okay, so Ms. Erie, let's go ahead and do that as long as, so we have his, now, Mom, I have another question for you. Does Jason run away? Does he leave the house without permission?
No, not
No?
really. No.
But,
sir.
I mean, you're telling me he goes and hangs out with friends,
Yes, I mean, he hangs out with his friends. He leaves, yeah, but he comes home.
but you tell him not to leave and he leaves anyways. You said you couldn't control
I
him?
don't really tell him not to leave. I mean, he just goes. I mean, I'm not.
Mom has like a leeway with him because he's getting older and she wants to give him that kind of independency. But he obviously doesn't deserve that right now.
But Mom is saying that she knows he's smoking with friends and she tells him not to go and hang out with them. But he
I
doesn't.
don't tell him not to go.
Hold on. But then you say you can't control them, both your sons. So it's one or the other. Either they're following your instructions or they're not when they leave. Which one would it be?
There really are no instructions, I don't think.
That's
I'm
not-
sorry?
There's not really any instructions. Like
There's
I said, we
not.
don't tell them not to go.
It's
We
a
just-
communication thing. I think that she needs to communicate better with the boys. And
I'm trying to figure out. So Mom, you were telling me earlier that you know he's smoking weed with his friends,
in her mindset.
but you can't stop him. Now you're telling me you never told him not to smoke weed with his friends? You know, I'm not trying to beat you up, I promise you. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Like, I'm trying to understand this
Right.
dynamic. As the juvenile judge, part of what I'm here to do is help
Right.
parents and kids and foster the communication and the relationship and the respect that Jason needs to show to his parents. On the other hand, I need to make sure that the parents are engaging their kids in a way that fosters and encourages the respect that they deserve, right? Not beating you up. I'm trying to make sure that Jason is in a good situation going home and that you can provide the care and supervision for Jason that he needs as a 16-year-old boy. Okay. So if it seems like I'm beating you up, I promise you I'm not trying to. And I apologize if it seems that way. I genuinely am trying to figure out how do we help Jason. So the impression that, and I'm not trying to catch you in a lie or anything.
Right.
I'm really trying to just have a conversation with you. So you earlier told me that you can't control them no matter, even though you tell them not to. And now you're saying you just never told them not to. So not beating you up. I'm just wanting to know which one it is because I need to know what options I have.
Them and telling them not to go is two different things. Like I don't.
But you understand, if you don't tell him no, then he'll
Right.
never, then he'll say she never told me no. Right? So it sounds like part of this is on you that you're not setting the boundaries and guidelines for him. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not trying to embarrass you, Mom. I'm really not. Okay. Believe it or not, I am more on the parent side than the kid side because I believe that as parents, you have certain rights and responsibilities and sometimes it takes a parent at home and it takes a judge in court and both of us are working against Jason. When I say working against Jason, that doesn't mean that we're trying to beat you down. What it means is we're trying to guide you in the right direction to make good decisions.
Right.
You've got less than a year left before you're looking at adult criminal court. You understand that,
Right.
right? And the last thing anybody here wants is for you to be in the adult criminal justice system. Okay? So, Mom, we are on the same team, but I have to make sure that you're, I guess, what's the best way to say it? You're running the right place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is what I want to do because it seems like there's some uncertainty here, and I'll just err on the side of caution. So, Mr. Rhymes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign a release order to your parents or to your mom. What this entails is that you'll be released. You'll have a new court date. You have to show up at the court date. If not, we will issue a warrant for your mom as well as you. Right? We're going to have a restriction that you cannot contact the victim of this case. I understand that you're a neighbor, but you do not even walk in front of their house. Right? If you need to cross the street, but you should not be anywhere near your neighbor, I'm going to order random drug tests on you. Okay? And we're also, Ms. Aguirre, whenever we can, we do the drug patches again. We'll go ahead and put a drug patch on them. We're just not doing that right now because of the coronavirus. And then I'm also ordering an electronic monitor. And so you're going to be restrained at home. You're not going to be hanging around these friends that your parents do not approve of or are breaking the law. Also, this is all contingent on mom and sister providing your analysis samples. If they end up positive for anything, then we'll go ahead and readdress this. Okay, Mr. Gary?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Rhymes?
No, sir.
Okay, Mom, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir. Thank you.
Sister, do you have any questions for me?
I think it would help them if they had a list of contacts of like who to call, like his PO officer and everyone to call so they can keep in touch and not like lose that contacts. So
They have, unfortunately, sister, I know they have that piece of paper, or they were given that piece of paper. I don't know if they still have it, but they were given that paper. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So
I think it would help if they had like another one. And
okay,
I'll keep a copy.
Ms. Aguirre is new, so she's newly assigned to this case, so she will give you that paper before you leave the building. Okay, but even worst case scenario, all you have to do is go to Google and look up Tarrant County Juvenile Court, and the number's there. I mean, it's not hard to find. Okay.
And make sure you get a telephone number as well. Is okay? Is his attorney?
Okay.
Yes, and Mr. Glasgow is a fantastic attorney. Stay in touch with them. He will.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Get up.
Grab your chair.
Next one is Marco Smith Jr. You again, Mr. Gladstone. And Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, oh, there you are, sir.
She asked you a question, but you can't answer now.
All right, Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd District Court. This is a detention hearing, and as you know, you are entitled to this hearing within 2 business days of being brought in. You arrived yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, you turned yourself in on the directive to apprehend. So remember that you do have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing. I can only consider it for purposes of detention, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Gladstone. He's here on the screen. Do you see Mr. Gladstone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I see is that mom here?
Yes.
All right, and let's see.
And a small
You're
child.
recorded. Mr. Gladstone will let me know. So you turned yourself in yesterday on a DTA that was issued on the 29th.
Yes, ma'am.
Violation of court. And I'm going to need you to sit up straight, sir, so I can hear your voice better when you do talk, okay? Thank you. Violation of court order. Technical violation was filed on May 22nd for a positive drug screen on March 6th. Let's see, I'm trying to trace back what you've got going on with us here. Probation as of last July for burglary of a habitation was extended then. And it's my understanding your violation of that probation was your March 6th drug test. In March of 2020, you got a ticket for stealing from Walmart. You've been leaving home without permission, it says. You were hospitalized in April for several days. In May, you took your aunt's car and attempted to come back to Texas from Milwaukee. You were pulled over in Illinois on the 3rd of May. And you were hospitalized again. When you were released, you went back to Milwaukee to your grandparents. Mom wanted you to come home on the 2nd of June. Then on the 21st of May, you stole your grandfather's car and went to your cousin's. You were taken to the hospital again in Milwaukee. And then your mom picked you up June 1st, just yesterday. Came back to Texas. You were negative when you came back in, but I am concerned about what's been going on with you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't want to punish you, but I'm actually really concerned about what's going on with you inside, you know? I don't know if it's just you're saying things just to be able to get your way, or if you're really struggling. And if you're really, really struggling, I'm really, really concerned about that. I don't want to take a chance and just send you home and not get you the help that you probably need, okay? You are currently on probation still. And so, and you're 16 years old. We don't have a lot of time to help get you where you need to be, okay, before you turn 17. Mom, what do you think? What do you think is going on? Do you really think he needs some help?
I think he definitely needs some help. There's been a continuation, and it don't seem like it's getting any better.
Okay. Yeah, I'm worried that he may be a danger to himself, or so.
I feel the
Just
same.
to ask a question.
Yes.
Mom, is he on any kind of meds now? Is he
Yes,
under care?
Yes, he is on medication. They just changed his medication again while he was in Milwaukee.
What's his diagnosis? No.
It's anger disorder, disruptive anger disorder.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Do you have his medication with you, ma'am? Did you bring it with you here?
I did not, but I do not live that far away. I can definitely bring it right back.
Okay, we're gonna need to get that here for him. I do want to order a psychiatric evaluation.
Okay, I agree.
See if there's anything else that we can do for him.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Gladstone?
Does he have a physician here in Tarrant County?
I'm sorry?
Does he have a doctor, a physician here?
Yes, he does. Dr. Lopez. He's also in MHMR. That's where he sees Dr. Lopez.
So your son's on the MHMR list?
Well, he goes there. He's been with them for almost 3 years now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna order that he be detained. Mr. Smith will I don't know how long it's taking to get these evaluations done, but I know that we can keep you safe here. And so that's why I'm gonna go ahead and detain you, okay? Thank you. All right, we have Melissa Soto is next.
Okay. Judge, I think that's all my kids coming back. Be excused.
Yes, Mr. Gladstone, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Adler here? Yes, he is. Somewhere, there he is. All right.
Judge.
And Ms. Aguirre? Oh, so patient.
I hear you about Judge Simpson's magistrates, but I think this is even more so because Judge Kim rules these proceedings, obviously. I mean, like, he didn't even trust her to say, like, hey, I'll, like, detain these new kids. He came in and did the hearings himself. Like, that's a level of micromanagement that, first of all, I could not handle. I would not handle. No. Like, fuck, no. Sorry. But apparently, you know, they're cool with it. I guess, you know what, if somebody's like, hey, you can be a judge, but I get to tell you what to do, maybe I would do that. I don't know. But yeah, there are courts that have strict systems with which they do the same thing for everybody. So if you have this crime, it will always be this bond. If you have this, it will always be that. Then there are other ones where they're a little bit more leeway given, and the people seem to pick them off the top of their head. Fulton County comes to mind. But in this court, it's also different because children in the United States or in Texas under the Texas laws are not entitled to a bond. And the determination of whether or not they are detained is not done based upon what crime they committed. If you notice, it's about whether or not they may be a danger to themselves or others or the community, and if they have proper supervision at home. And so the judge we've seen, they will hold kids when the parents don't say the right things. And some parents just don't get it. I mean, if I was a parent with a kid having one of these hearings, I would be doing as much research as I could. I would have been watching these beforehand, knowing what to do. But a lot of these parents, you can tell, don't do that. While I agree that cookie cutter approaches to judicial matters suck in some senses, I think that oftentimes they expedite things and make it more efficient. And like Mansfield, I keep going back to that, but that's a very efficient court in Texas. He literally basically lays out the same sort of rules or things for everybody, but they manage to get through them very quickly. Judge Kim, as we're going to see, gets, I don't know, you can just tell he has his thumb on the pulse all the time, that he's watching these hearings while they're doing it. That's what the vibe I get, is that they are on his radar, as opposed to, these are my associate judges and I trust their judgment. No, this is like, I'm letting them appear on the channel. And another reason for that is because if we notice, these are all off of his original channel. He wouldn't even, I sort of get that, but I sort of don't. I used to think Judge Kim liked the fame, to be honest with you. But then it sort of got a little too much because the internet and all. Anyways, I think that the way that he rules this court, we're going to see as we go forward some situations where he absolutely makes them worse just by the way he is. And then we're going to see situations where, like, Judge Porter literally looks like his hands are tied, like he is unable to do what he wants to do. We'll see. We've got a couple minutes left on this episode, and then I'm going to call it for tonight because I have like 3 videos to put together to try and upload tonight of some great hearings that I got today. So let's finish off this last bit from Judge Terry. And I so appreciate all your comments and everybody being here. It's such a fun way to spend an evening. So let's get back to Judge Terry, finish up, and see what we can see what's still in store for us.
Okay, Ms. Soto. All right, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. I believe this is probably your first 10-day detention hearing, maybe? No, it looks like it's your second one, that's right. So, we have to reevaluate every 10 business days to determine if you're going to stay with us longer or we can release you to a parent or guardian. Mr. Adler, is that her mother on the screen there?
Oh, I don't see her. Hold on a second.
Yes, the lady in the peach shirt.
I'm her sister, and this is her mom.
Okay, yes. Great. Thank you.
I'm just translating. Yeah.
Okay. And so you have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here, and do you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Adler will let me know if you'd like your hearing recorded. All right, so your behavior level has been outstanding since yesterday, and so, Ms. Aguirre, can you explain to me what she's been doing there in the back?
Your Honor, she's had various infractions and sanctions while she's been in detention for talking without permission, being disrespectful towards staff, being argumentative. I do want to say she was level 1 outstanding on May 13th, as well as May 17th through May 27th. And again, beginning today.
Okay, and again, what were her infractions for?
For talking without permission, being disrespectful and argumentative with staff, and violating the do not associate status.
Okay. All right, so considering that with what's in the offense report, let me see, because I haven't read her offense report yet, I don't believe. Have I seen it? Oh, and I have it here, but have I previously? I don't think it. Oh. Yeah, it says that you were referred in custody by Arlington PD for assault causing bodily injury to a family member on May 3rd, approximately 300 hours. Officer was nearby at a 7-Eleven gas station, which you ran to. Apparently, you locked yourself in the bathroom at the gas station. Your father advised that you left the house without permission. Officer informed the father that he could physically get you into the vehicle with the help of your brother-in-law. Officer informed you that if you hit, kick, or assault any family member, you could be arrested. Your dad attempted to get you into the vehicle to take you home with the help of your brother-in-law, and says that you kicked your father in the stomach and chest repeatedly. Says that you also kicked Derek in the stomach and scratched him on the wrist. They both stated that the kick caused them pain. Prior to detention, you were receiving services from MHMR, New Horizons, for your mood disorder. You're currently taking medications. Looks like. Okay. I definitely agree with what the resource staffing recommended. Where's Dad right now?
He's working.
Is he? Okay. All right. And so are you guys ready to have her home?
She says, yeah.
Is that your husband, ma'am, that she
Yes.
also? Okay. And do you both live there with Melissa and your parents?
No, I live separately, but we're always here because my mom watches my 2-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. And has this kind of behavior been kind of ongoing for Melissa?
Yes. She is currently in 9th grade, and it started happening since she was in 6th grade.
Okay. And mom is able to participate in all these services that Melissa is being offered through the department?
Estás disponible para asistir los servicios que le van a dar del departamento. Yeah, she would need somebody like to translate and transportation. That's the issue.
Okay. Did you say transportation also, or just translate?
Both. At the moment, my mom's car stopped working. So.
Okay. So I think probation will have to work. They're probably doing a lot of things remotely still. Is that right, Ms. Aguirre?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. And so does mom have internet at home?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, you guys are using, I don't know if it's your phone or what, but she has the electronics to be able to participate in services with Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. Melissa, I don't know what's going on, but I know that when I was your age, if I even ever thought about reacting to my dad that way, like I would have been scared at just the thought of that. I don't care how angry I was. Yeah, I think so too. I think I see her on Friday. Is that right, Mr. Adler? Do I have you on Friday with her?
I think tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow.
I mean, it could be tomorrow. Yeah, so that is tomorrow. And are you guys do you think you're gonna be going ahead with that tomorrow?
I was going to talk to you about that, Judge, if you have a second.
Sure.
So, of course, my client wants to go home. At our last detention hearing, Judge Kim just asked me to come up with a plan because the mom wasn't ready for her to come home.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been talking to her counselors through MHMR, and I had a community plan until she hit level 3, and that's why I withdrew my last detention hearing. That was I requested it.
Uh-huh.
But just based on what the sister just told you and the mom, if you are inclined to release her today, and it's going to be difficult for them to come today and tomorrow, this is going to be an odd request. If the plan is going to be a community plan, I guess we would just go forward with the adjudication dispo tomorrow and release tomorrow, unless the mom can come up there today with the sister.
Here's the thing. I don't know that I'm quite ready to release her today.
Okay.
In fact, I'm not. Because here's the thing, Melissa. Your behavior in here, while you've reached level 1 outstanding a few times, it really is mirroring what's going on at home. I guarantee you there's days you're great at home, good, and everything's fine, and then you just lose it. And so I would like to hear more tomorrow, and I will, and figure out what the plan is for you tomorrow. So, if you would have just been more consistent in your outstanding behavior while you've been here, you would be going home today, and you'd be able to come back, from home tomorrow. But I am going to keep you here, and we will further discuss this tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Judge. See you tomorrow.
Do not bring this child in. Not yet. All right, so at this time,
We don't need to hear it from you, Judge Terry. We already know. You're closing the hearings because the children further are under the age of 14, and there has been no finding that it is in the public's best interest for these hearings to be live broadcast. This is the very beginning of the pandemic-ish time. So they all had to literally take their chairs in and out. They stopped doing that after a while, but honestly, you guys are the best. I've had such a blast hanging out with you tonight. I hope that we get to do it again soon. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I have lots more content. This is a special live docket. It's a live docket. It's a detention series docket that we're doing live from my kitchen. And soon I'm going to be taking recipe suggestions and doing those while we watch Detention Docket. There is years of this stuff. So we've got lots and lots of episodes left. And, I got a pretty good TPO today. And also this, honestly, it's 6 hours of, it was a hearing. I don't even know what hearing it was, but anyways, I would love that. My crazy life, please do. The Discord is awesome. I'm in time served Discord, so I don't have my own Discord. I don't need it. But again, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Please have a great night. Absolutely. Be safe. And thanks for coming to my kitchen. Bye.